Brickhouse Mike must have fallen asleep during the premiere. No, I was there the whole time. 2 minutes late. Well, I have to keep up the shtick. uh, it just wouldn't be right if I showed up on time. People would worry about me. People already probably worry about me. Oh, how's everybody's week? How's everybody doing? I did some woodworking this week. Felt like it had been a long time. Yeah, I cut into some wood, and I cut up some pieces of wood, and then I glued pieces of wood back together. I'll show you in a couple minutes. You guys will have the first. It'll be a world premiere of 2 premieres tonight. Show you what I'm working on. I haven't even put anything up on any of the social medias or anything. And it was the most nervous I had ever been to cut into a piece of wood. And I ran it over my table saw like 30 times. Yeah. A piece of special significance, let's say. Oh, so the salad tong video is out in the world. I don't even know how many videos I've actually released this year, like project videos I've released this year. That might be like the second. Not very many. I am having a bad year in terms of like woodworking production. Well, in video production. Had a bowl blow up, broke your face shield, and sliced your finger. Well, sorry to hear that. That's why we have face shields, I guess. You could look at the pros and cons of that and say, well, at least it was the face shield and not your face. Man, what do you know what happened? Have you analyzed what went wrong and now you know for next time? Because that is all. I mean, it's not failing as long as you're learning, right? Hopefully it's not too bad, and you know what went wrong, and you will try to not do that again. There was a crack. Yes. Yeah, I should pay closer attention and heed cracks more than I do, probably. Yeah, cracks can cause explosions, and I sometimes just pretend that it's not going to do that and just keep going. I have been very lucky. I will admit I have been very lucky that I have not, since the initial lathe accident, which was on the old lathe with a bench chisel and too big a piece, and it wasn't bolted down, and so many things went wrong. I did not know what I was doing in any form. Should not have even been pretending that I knew what I was doing. I don't think I was pretending I knew what I was doing. I was just playing, but I should not have been. And since that initial one that kept me off the lathe for about 10 months and made me realize that if I'm going to do this, I need a real lathe and real tools, I have been very lucky that I haven't had anything. I've had stuff come off. I've had stuff explode, but I haven't had anything hit me hard or do any physical damage to me. Finally finished the walnut bowl you've been working on forever. I hope it's enormous. Like, is it huge and like really intricate, or are you just like turning for 6 minutes at a time, or like why Tell us why this bowl has taken so long. It's a 10-inch bowl. I need to know the story behind why a 10-inch walnut bowl has taken you months. Because maybe it's an interesting story. Maybe you're just like, I don't know, I just turn for a couple minutes and then I just go away for a week or something. But maybe it's an interesting story. Had a ton of tear out. Because of dull tools, or just the wood itself was finicky. And I mean, sometimes it doesn't, well, I can't say sometimes it doesn't matter how sharp you are. I'm never sharp enough. But sometimes wood will just be cantankerous. Dull gouge, yeah, that helps. Dull gouge, stupid operator, yeah. I have both of those problems fairly frequently. Making myself a steady rest. Want to make a vase for the wifey. Yeah, I've thought about making a steady rest. You do it like with sort of those skateboard wheel looking thing. No, they're not skateboard wheels, but they're like, what are they? Some kind of fancy rubberized wheel with bearings and things. Used 80 grit bowl gouge to finish. That a guy. Just get sanding. Yeah, they're more like rollerblade wheels. McGill was right. They're more like rollerblade wheels. Or are they actual rollerblade wheels? Because the ones that I've seen for sale from places like Lee Valley and stuff, they're very much like rollerblade wheels, but I think they're grippier, maybe. They're like sort of a clear-ish. Lawnmower Detective is back. Evening to you as well, my friend. Sweet. Get cheap rollerblade wheels, right on. Cool, you get those plans from Matthias for the steady rest. Oh, gonna have a casual show tonight. If Amy shows up, the pen mandrel is set up, and we could do her pen if she happens by. But I don't have any plans. A little bit of show and tell. I'm going to show the project that I'm working on right now. Just did the unboxing of my new block plane. Actually, just before the premiere, I finished filming the unboxing and trial of my new DX60 Veritas block plane. $150 performances. Go find a job. So ends the full-time woodworking attempt for Eric. It's I couldn't do it. I couldn't do full-time woodworking. I am fortunate that I make enough from woodworking and other gig economy type things that I can afford to work 3 days a week at my job. But I could not do a full-time woodworking job. I do 3 days a week at my job. I do freelance photography and writing. I sell art. I sell my woodworking. I do a woodworking show that contributes a little bit. I do once in a while. I will. That was going to be bad. I sell my services. I have a few little contract things in town that I pick up to help make ends meet. I have about 6 jobs that all contribute to my household income in one way, and most of all YouTube, the big YouTube dollars. Don't forget those big YouTube dollars. Yeah, I mean, it's part of it. It's all of the little pools of money all add together to make a full-time income. Um, barely. My full-time income of all of my various jobs and roles and services that I offer probably ends up being about $12.50 an hour. Um, and I work about 80 hours a week to make it go. But I don't want to be in a cubicle working 40, staring at a screen. Hate to be your accountant. It's not great. It's not great. But it all falls under one umbrella. So it's Mike Davies Design is my business, and then there's my employment income. So there's really only two streams, but one of them has various streams within it. Haven't done a photography gig for a while though. It's been I guess last summer was my last photography gig. No, that's not true. Did a photography shoot a couple of months ago, but it was just a quick, like, sort of 1 hour down on the beach kind of a thing. If the CRA is watching, it's only one job. No, I am employed. It's my employment income and my business income. It's two jobs. But thankfully, because my business is so diverse, like, almost everything is a business expense if I want it to be. Like, anything at Home Depot is a business expense because I'm probably going to film myself using whatever that is at some point. My computer was a business expense. My camera is a business expense. All my paints and supplies are business expense because I do sell art. Yeah, all my tools, all my hardware, guitar parts, they're all business expenses because they all are part of what I do for a living. Speaking of which, this is a sexy hand plane. First time I saw it in real life was about an hour ago when I took it out of the box and put the iron in it and took some shavings with it. Veritas DX60 adjustable mouth lock plane is a sexy hand plane. It is a very, very attractive piece of equipment, and it now lives right there, replacing this, which was the second plane I ever bought, right behind this one. I long ago replaced the handle with a little walnut knobby on this thing. I might give this away. I don't know. If anybody is interested in that, let me know, and maybe I'll do a giveaway at some point on that. Block planes don't need to be they don't need to be precision instruments that are manufactured to extremely tight tolerances with adjustable mouths and things. They don't. But it's nice if they are. I've gotten by without block plane for, since I started. So 5-6 years. Look how fast you can plane a block. I can plane blocks so quickly. It's slick looking. It looks fast. You're right. I'll always take a free plane, especially when it costs more to ship than the plane is worth. Yeah, I might just give it to my buddy Mike, who lives across town, because he doesn't have a plane. He's got like a number 5, but it's like a late 90s Craftsman, like, just it vibrates. It does not cut well. He brought it over to have me try and set it up. And I sharpened it the best I could, and I set it up the best I could, and it was still. There's only so much you can do to a poorly made plane of that size that just doesn't have the manufacturing component of it. I might just give him that one because at least he can get some things done with that in terms of planing. He can't get anything done with the one that like I said, I did my best. My best was not good enough. When I was done with it, it was taking shavings, and that's all I can say about it. It was rough, and it wasn't taking shavings for very long. It was, yeah. Monster Energy Mike, yes. Or Punisher Mike, sometimes, depending on what his current profile picture is at any given time. Do you guys do anything with epoxy? Get yourself one of these. This has been, I don't do a lot with epoxy, but this guy is is a really, really good for not very much money. Torch, really good. CAD Rim is the brand on it, but there's lots of them of this type. It's the 2 dealy refillable torch. Click button on the back. I was doing a little bit of epoxy work on this project. That's the only reason it's sitting out. Anybody else making anything? Stanifer finished his thing. Finished his walnut bowl that took him months. Got one like that for your bong. Not a guy. Make the old plane into RC truck. Maybe. Showing off his drug paraphernalia and talking taxes. Yeah. It's not what this is. It's for epoxy. Popping bubbles. Well, just working on a cedar bowl. Sweet. Use for council. That's right. That's right. We'll see. Maybe, maybe not. Drug paraphernalia is not a business expense. No, but lighters for shop purposes, like popping bubbles in epoxy on film for YouTube, business expense. Guitar pickups, business expense. Because I might put them in a guitar that I filmed myself building. Well, that's why I purchased them. I purchased them to put in a guitar that I'm filming myself building. You know, you can use denatured alcohol as well on like in a spritz to pop bubbles. I didn't know that, but it doesn't surprise me. Just a quick little. This is enough. This particular epoxyized piece, I decided to use. I only needed a little bit, so I decided to just use West Systems. Not sure that I would. I think you need to. West Systems is an adhesive epoxy. It's not really a. I mean, it's only a 1/4 inch deep, so and 4 by. No, it wasn't a lot of epoxy. So 1 pump from each, actually. 1 pump from each, and I still had that much left over. So like I didn't need a lot of epoxy, which is why I just went with the West Systems. But yeah, not ideal for pouring. Started filming insert videos for the final GGBO videos. Oh yeah, like B-roll. Been wanting to do a pierced hollow form. Finally realized for what I wanted to do, I didn't need a fancy blank, so I glued up a blank. Oh, go back. Glued up a blank of 8-quarter oak boards. Glue is dry, just need to get turning. Okay. And justify buying whatever you want and call it a business expense, but the business income has to be greater than the business expense for it to matter. Well, no. I can show negative. Last year was the first year that my business made money. In terms of like income over expenditures. It might not this year, depending on purchasing. I have, if I do buy dust collection, Christmas has to be good for me to make money on the year. Because I haven't made that much money this year. Oh, guys, come on with the business. Like literally, they're messaging me business, just so they can hear their message come in. Like, trying to get it done this week and leave a few days for video. Yeah. You should have been dumping that video and starting to build your video as you've been going, so that you didn't have to, at the end, all you got to do is your last few clips and just tack them on. Business mic. Video mic. No, I don't do that. On long projects, it all builds up and I just dump it all at once and then build it. Oh, business. Stop it. Tyler showed me how to make it happen though. Hold on, let me see if I can do it. It's like you got to go to like page 2 or something. You got to scroll over, and then where is it? It's over here someplace. Oh, I don't remember anymore. Power saving flight mode, well, wireless smart view. I hope I don't shut you guys off by accident looking for it. Always on. Do not disturb. So there. No more buzz. Are you guys still here? Am I still alive? It's not the one with the airplane. That would turn you guys off. Because then there's no incoming or outgoing. Tyler needs a YouTube channel where he teaches people how to use their phones. Beer. I'm sure if I actually cared that much, I could have just gone and figured it out. There's an instructional video on YouTube on how to do that. I'm sure there is. I just didn't really care that much. Tyler doesn't have time to do that. Well, if he was more efficient with his workflow. If he'd stop building like the most complicated guitars he can come up with in his head. Pinnell still hasn't given his colors to Eric. I think Eric, one of these days I'm gonna make an executive decision and just say make him a cup. He wants the big one. He wants it to say Stanifer's the worst. Just if he doesn't tell you in the next couple of days, just make him something. It is a competition. You're right. And you did win something from making your overly complicated guitar last time. but like, and that video that you sent me of a guy playing a similar instrument to what you're making right now, that it's if you can make it sound like that, it's rad. You're right. You need one of those little like electronic tap box things that he's doing with his foot though too, to like drive the beat, because that was a big part of what made that thing rad, I think. Hold on, now we have Is Stanifer the Worst and Mike Stanifer? I don't understand what's happening. You got two accounts going? Actually, it's not a competition I plan on winning. Well, yeah, but you're in a different category, Paul. Tyler's in the, like, what is it called? The experimental category, or like, I don't know what it's exactly called. Paul's in the professional. Tyler's in the maybe it's a guitar category. Freestyle, that's what it is. I would have been in the free. If I actually bothered to put the effort into finishing my guitar, I would have been in the like community or whatever category. Because I was not going to pay the money again this year. And I liked that they had a free category. I just couldn't get my ass in gear to do it. I got most of the neck done, and then I just lost steam on it. I'll finish it. Maybe I'll finish it by the end of the year so I can say that I've made a guitar this year too. Maybe not. Could have used one of his multi-tonal chaos fingerboards for the metal guitar. You could have very well done that. You should get a neck for him to put on one of your tellies. Identity theft is not a joke, Jim. Yes. Bears beats Battlestar Galactica. What kind of bear is best? False. Black bear. Michael! Yeah, that was a good show too. So awkward. It's so cringy. Like, I tried watching it again not that long ago just to like have on in the background, and it was just so cringy. Michael is so cringy. Asian Jim is one of the best cold opens ever. Yes, you're right. I declare bankruptcy. That's nothing. That doesn't. Or when he I don't even really know how they did it. They wrapped air in the shape of a desk. Yeah. Well, I think it'll take more than a couple minutes, and it just all just disintegrates when he drops his stuff on it and goes to sit down. Yeah, good show. Little stitches. Yeah, we're just gonna do office quotes tonight. That'll make for a good show. I'm sure people watching this after the fact will enjoy us just doing office quotes. If Pinnell doesn't decide tonight, the next week we let a few randomly picked audience members pick colors. Okay? I'm good with that. Pinnell has to decide the colors of his tumbler. I'll get. He's got one of these coming to him. He's got to pick his colors tonight. It's good. Mike's Wooden Things and stuff. Stanifer's the worst or something. We've established that he wants. He's got to pick his color scheme tonight. Why don't we just do it at the end of the live show tonight? If he hasn't picked by the end of tonight's show, we'll pick for him tonight. Put colors on the wheel and spin for the color. I'm not going inside. We're not going inside to the computer. I don't have it out here. Do I have the small one as well? Yep. That's the little guy. That kind of lid. Big guy has the click top. And a straw that I've lost. Actually, I might Lawnmower Detectives here. I'm gonna have a little sip of my Caribbean scotch that you bought for me. Glenlivet Caribbean Reserve. Courtesy my friend Lawnmower Detective. Mostly. He mostly paid for this bottle of scotch. Glenlivet Caribbean Reserve. Pretty good. It's I don't think it's my favorite scotch in that price point range, but it is good. Might lean toward the smaller cup and make it my Wooden Things and Stuff live show cup. You got to make these decisions, man. We've decided that by the end of the show, you need to decide big one, little one, and color scheme. It's not better than Glenlivet 18, but it's really good. My current favorite in that price range that I can't find anymore, it must have been limited run, was the Glenfiddich Bourbon Barrel Reserve. I probably have a tube. I have an empty tube. Hold on. Probably an empty tube with a bottle in it. Yep. Glenfiddich 14 Bourbon Barrel Reserve. Looked like that. If you can find that still, get two and send me one. Because I can't find it anymore. It is very, very good. Just finished the Glenfiddich 8. Doesn't it need to be at least, no, 3, never mind. Yeah, Glenfiddich makes a good scotch. Pilgrim Piper, welcome to the show. Newbie to the channel and with woodworking. To give you an idea of my skill level, I had in mind turning a goblet, and when it was done, it turns out it was a snowman. Nothing wrong with that. You're making shavings out of wood. You're welcome to Hangout. Shit, man. Like, I don't think anything that I've ever made on this channel or in life turned out how I expected it from the start. Maybe not to the point of like started with a goblet in mind and it came out as a snowman, but nothing wrong with that. So it has those sort of Caribbean rum undertones of like spices. The lidded bowl did turn out nice. It's for sale. I think I only put it at $100 too. Like, I mean, it was more than $100 worth of wood and work to make that. That's another one of those examples of like maybe $12.50 an hour is what I end up paying myself out here sometimes. It's a formidable scent. Stings the nostrils. Yeah. Did you kill a guy with a trident? Oh, we're just gonna do quotes from stuff now. Yeah, it's good. It's already getting a little bit low. $12.50 an hour. I mean, in terms of $12.50 an hour at the high end of like, I charge $25, $30 an hour for some things, but there are some things in my life that you cannot get away with that. It takes longer to accomplish what it is that you need to be delivering than you can justify charging. Well, what did the lidded box was? I want to say it was a 2-hour show and then a 3-hour show that we did the sort of holy hand grenade looking walnut and cherry thing. So there's 5 hours. And the walnut blank that I started with was probably close to $20. And then the chunk of cherry, let's call it $4. So 20, well, you just round it up. We'll say $25 worth of wood and 5 hours of time. For $100, that's I'm not a math guy. It's less than $20 an hour. It's somewhere in the 15-ish range. And I did make it's true. I might have made $3 on the video. I don't know though. I'd have to look at the stats on that. I don't know that video did very well. Well, it was a live show. So probably made 70 cents from viewership. Did I get a super chat at some point during those 2 episodes? I don't know. I don't remember. But then, sandpaper, tool wear and tear. So there was some glue involved in that one. So I don't think, maybe $12.50-ish. It's not why I do it. It's not why I do everything. Some things that's why I do. Cranking out 40 slimline pens is just purely for money. But that bowl was not for money. I wanted to have an adventure. And it certainly was that. Stupid geometry. Still looking for the moose poop pen video. One of these days, I'll get back to making videos. I just released a video today. Hey, thanks, Brickhouse. Brickhouse just sent me $1. That a guy? Thanks. Every dollar counts. That's why they call it a dollar. No, that's not why they call it a dollar. But yeah, I mean, you probably doubled my income from tonight, my friend. I appreciate that. Well, Google took 30% of it though, so I only made 70. Yeah, no, you did. You probably doubled my video. My revenue tonight. Because Google, you paid me 70, you paid Google 30. And then all of the viewership that I get from the video is probably going to account for another 70 cents or so. So here, got that going for me. I'm glad you could help as well. So, you want to have a look at this thing that I've been working on? This is not my art. This art is who is that? John Wilson Jr. did this kingfisher on this First Nations paddle. Canoe, the traditional canoe paddle. This, somebody carved some whales into it. Who's that? Bill McDonald carved some whales into it. Get JB, not sure who that is. Did some salmon. This paddle goes back and forth across the strait between our community here in Campbell River and the Cape Mudge First Nation. Well, the Cape Mudge Band. And it represents the coming together of those two communities. And it goes back and forth. Before COVID, it went back and forth every year. And every time it changed hands, somebody on the side that was receiving it would put a piece of art on the paddle for the next year to be taken back across. And so in early 2020, I was asked if I would do the 2020 piece of art on the paddle. And we all know what happened in 2020. It barely looks used. It's, you know, it's a ceremonial. It doesn't go in the water. It's the thing that gets passed back and forth. It's a symbol. Okay. So in 2020, everything went to shit, and that stopped because people shouldn't be moving back and forth between communities and etc. And it's always been based on being asked, being invited to come, because traditionally that's how First Nations have welcomed seafaring folk to their communities. You are invited to come ashore. And so 2 years later, I still had this paddle sitting around, and I got an email from the organizer of, it's called the, what's it called? It's got the passage, the passage of the passage, because Discovery Passage is the waterway that gets traversed back and forth when they do this. And he recently contacted me and said, so we're looking at getting this thing started back up. Do you still have the paddle? Maybe. I said, yeah, I do. I'm just waiting on you guys to tell me whether you still want me to do something or if you want it back and whatever. And he said, no, you do. You do. And so that's why I was extremely nervous to do something on this, because it's had a history of artists' work being passed back and forth in a symbolic coming together of communities and cultures. Another one down here. And so they said, give it back or we sue. No, it's not that kind of thing. So the reason I was asked was because of my art. One of the ladies involved in the event has purchased some of my art, has commissioned some of my art for her house. And she suggested that I might be interested in doing something on her. But I'm a woodworker now more than an artist. So, and this is a piece of wood. So I wanted to do something artistic that also was part of who I am as a woodworker. So I'm going to get a little bit of Varsol, because that's what I have. I don't have any mineral spirits right now, because I think it's not going to show up very well what I've done. I have, let's not knock over my scotch. This is what I've made. I've done an inlaid art piece out of various kinds of wood with some epoxy fill for the sky. It is wood from all over the planet that I selected for this purpose, because the idea of the paddle is the coming together of communities and peoples and cultures. And so I thought it would be great if I created something that had wood from Africa and South America and the US and Canada and Australia. And so that's what I've done. I've created essentially a mountain range, a framed art piece, mountain range. With an epoxy fill in the top on this ceremonial, well, it's not ceremonial. And I basically just have to finish sand and finish it. I got it knocked back down to being flush with the paddle. But, well, 20 minutes before the live premiere tonight, because that's when I was filming my block plane unboxing, was to start knocking that down back to the one of them is not you. So somebody opened an account called Mike Stanifer and used your your thumbnail. Oh, it's probably Pinnell. Maybe it's Beckham. Don't we hate Beckham now too? No, we don't hate anybody. Anyway, so that's the story of the thing. And in order to get that piece inlaid into the handle of this Western red cedar paddle, I ran it over my table saw and just curved it out flat, and then made a frame, and then put the little pieces of wood, and then filled it with the epoxy. So I had to run this like fairly important piece of our community over my table saw like 30 times. Didn't have to. I could have done it a different way, but it was nerve-wracking to cut into something that has like significance to people in your community. That's the first look anybody in the world has gotten at it. Well, no, that's not true. Mark was here a couple nights ago for a minute and saw it when it was still like when it was still all built up. But that's the first anybody's seen it like actually flush with the surface. And in its almost final form. I'm not gonna shine it up all like super high gloss or anything like that. It wouldn't fit with the rest of the thing. I'll probably sand it to 240. Probably sand the whole handle because I'll have to. Can't just sand a framed piece on a rounded canoe handle. So I'll just probably sand the whole handle up to 240. And then I'll probably tape it off and just lacquer it, because the paddle is not finished. Like there's no finish on it, so it would be weird to like. Anyway, and so that's what I did this week. I did a woodworking this week. I had a buddy bring me a guitar body that he was building so I could route the neck template and 2 humbuckers. Working on someone else's stuff is nerve-wracking. If this was my paddle, I would not have had a problem. But man running for BC Council runs ceremonial Indigenous paddle over table saw. Yeah, that's white man. White man runs traditional Liquituck paddle over table saw. "30 times. No, maybe not. Quite a few, though, to curve that all out. I did do a thing. Did you see what one of the Stanifers said? That I did a thing? I did a thing. Don't you have a dado set? I do, but I just didn't really feel like swapping it out right then. And like, honestly, running it over the saw a few more times probably took less time than swapping out my blade for a dado set. So just for like, it's probably 4 inches long. It's 4.5 inches long. It's just a 1/4 inch deep. I already had my flat tooth grind heavy duty industrial rip blade on there, so was getting 1/8 of an inch out of every kerf. Just do it a few more times instead of swapping out for a dado set. Probably took me 2.5 minutes to kerf it out. It's not that big a deal. It's mostly Europe where dados are not allowed. Yes, it is. And it's not the dados. It's interesting because people say that like you can't have a dado stack in Europe. You can, but there is some kind of restriction on selling a table saw that will allow. It's like it's an arbor size restriction or something. Not really sure. I read up on it at one point because I was like, I don't understand why this is. And it's not actually that they don't allow dado stacks. It's that they can't sell a table saw that can take a dado stack of a certain width because of some restriction. They don't sell saws with the arbor size. Yeah. See, branded a Mike's Wooden Things and Stuff logo on it. Yeah, no, I didn't. That would have been great though if it's like, there's my art. There you go. Because the weight of the stack, yeah, it's something weird. But it always gets misrepresented when people talk about it. They're like, oh, stupid Europeans and making dado sets illegal. And that's not what it is. Yeah, pretty happy with that. Pretty cool little mountain range on the side of the paddle. I'll get that back to them so that they can go along on their journey and trade it back across to the Cape Mudge Band. And I will forever be a part of this history in terms of this this coming together of these communities in this way. I'm happy about that. I'm honored to have been asked, and I was very nervous to be taking part. But it seems to have turned out okay. Oh, so we got that. Got my new block plane. The race car looking block plane. It's only my second adjustable mouth plane of any kind, which is a nice feature for a plane. It looks pretty attractive up there on the wall. Goes with a little apron plane. So that was my second Veritas plane, was the apron plane. And my first one was the low angle jack. I just dropped something. So that was my first Veritas plane, was the low angle jack. Now I have 3, and it's one of those things. Once you use one, once you get one, it is hard to stop. Even though they are expensive, it's just quality. They just, as soon as you take it out of the butt, like I opened the box and I just pulled it out, and it's like the block plane in this box, as I pulled it out, this is the block plane I'm used to. And this one is smaller, I would say. But it's probably half again as heavy. And it just feels like you know that this thing was made for serious. Like, that's a good, well-made tool. And it's all of their stuff. All of the Veritas hand tools. It's like, except maybe the saws. They don't feel super well made. They feel nice, but they're not like immediately in your hand, like you know this is going to get some work done for you. Alex Gilmore, hello. Do I know how to use what? My hand planes? Yes, I sort of. I'm not a hand plane guru of any kind. I'm not going to claim that, but I can get work done with them. They make good Band-Aids too. This is true. They make the world's best Band-Aid. Link in the description. No, it's not. Not sponsored. Hashtag not sponsored. Bought that number 7. Oh, did you? The number 7 that you were trying to get me to buy? The Type 6? Damn it, Paul. Guy. I don't want to pay that much. It's like, I probably should have. But once I get up into the $200 American dollar range, I'll just buy a Veritas for $350, like for $3 Canadian. You got it for $150 American, so that's like it's probably almost $200 Canadian, which is where I wanted to be, probably. But I also wanted it to be work ready, and I didn't think that one was quite work ready. Like for $200, I want it to be ready to put to work, or close enough to ready to put to work that I might just have to put the iron on those sharpening stones for a little while. Like, I don't want to have to do work to the body for $200. I'd rather pay $350 and have something that can come straight out of the box and go to a piece of wood. I literally did block plane today, the unboxing and setup and put it into use video. Took me like 14 minutes to film because I like opened it, took the lever cap off, I put the blade in, I put the lever cap back on, and I started making shavings because it's ready to go. That's why you're paying a premium for tools like this. It's because you don't have to do anything to them. When they come to you, they are ready to go. And it's got the little thumb divot right there, the little fingy knob, the fingy button. Oh, it's just, yes, happy. Now for Christmas, I need to buy myself the Veritas. Don't know. Low angle smoother, maybe? Don't know. You ever use one of those scrapers that can shave off ribbons of wood? Well, scrapers, yeah, I mean, I can get my card scrapers sharp enough to take ribbons. I don't generally, but I have. I need a new, where is it? This is my number 80 cabinet scraper, Stanley number 80. I need a new thumb screw for it. And I don't know, the only ones that I can find are like, I'm not paying that much for a thumb screw. That's stupid. But I need the thumb screw to go in there to put pressure on the blade to flex it so that it curves a little bit. So one day I might get that up and running, or might just replace that with a Veritas cabinet scraper. Because I think I got that for like $30. That's a Veritas replacement blade that's in there. So I might just buy $100 Veritas cabinet scraper and just have done with that. Home Depot sells bolts. Yeah, but it's a weird thread pattern. It's like a Stanley proprietary from like 1800 or something stupid. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I could just bring it into Home Depot and find something, but I want it to have like you got to be able to adjust the pressure and the tension on it too. So it has to be like the right kind of thumb screw to be able to use it properly. File and retap. Oh, you do it. You come up and you can file it. You can file it and retap it, and then we'll get a screw, and it'll be great. That'll be fine. I would much rather just pay $100 for a new cabinet scraper from Veritas, honestly, than put in that kind of work. That does not sound like something I'm going to enjoy doing. And it'll take hours. And I'll end up paying myself $12.50 an hour and then not have a Veritas cabinet scraper at the end of it. It's the dilemmas of this gig. Please stay safe. Oh, we had a reconnection. Means we were disconnected. It could be the stuff, the wooden things and stuff. It could be the stuff. I've got the stuff. I've got an end stuff coming up shortly. I left my hatchet out in the yard. And so it is not in good shape whatsoever. It's very rusty and broken. So one of the, I guess it's a wooden thing and a stuff, because I'm going to rehab that hatchet head and build a new handle for it. Coming up on the channel. So that'll be a wooden thing and a stuff. More views from an unboxing video than a scraper restoration video? Absolutely. Like I said, I unboxed this block plane. It took me 14 minutes to film it and unbox it start to finish probably. And I'll go and I'll edit it, and it'll take me about 20 minutes to edit it together because it's a relatively simple video. And it'll do twice as well as me taking 5 months to make a goddamn guitar. Make a guitar over 5 months, 340 views. Take a plane out of a box, 7,000 views. Like, you can make a new hickory handle. I don't think I mean, it says hickory on it. I'm not convinced that's what this is or was. I mean, I don't have enough experience with hickory. It says hickory, but I don't know. I don't know. What kind of wood do you guys think I should use on the hatchet handle? Doesn't have to. I think I can do it with 4/4. So I could use. Would have to be already pretty flat 4/4 because it's an inch thick here. If you're going to use it, hickory. I don't have any hickory. I don't want to pay money for wood when I have a crap ton of wood. What else? Hickory was the company that made them out of pine. Yeah, that's funny. What else do I've got some white oak. No, I don't have white oak at an inch thick. I've got some kaya. I've got some sapele, obviously. I've got cherry, walnut, maple. cedar, Douglas fir, alder. Got some alder. That's too soft. Just epoxy a 1-inch pipe into it, wrap an electrical tape, and be done. No, that's not fun. Is cherry gonna be a crap? I mean, I know you were joking and said he's gonna do it out of cherry. Like, would cherry be a crap hatchet wood? Probably would, right? Because it's not. It doesn't have the fleck, like the quality that you want in a hatchet handle in terms of its physical properties. But it's a hatchet. I mean, I'm not chopping down trees with it. I'm making kindling. Like, it's probably going to become a shop hatchet for like making straight grain dowels and stuff. Like, it's not going to get a ton of like hard work. And also, if I made it out of walnut, then more people would watch it. And then just to yell at me for making it out of walnut. Maybe I'll just do it out of walnut. What's Jaren? Eric? I don't know what that is. Is that Jara? Or is that supposed to be Jara from Australia? I don't know what Jaren is. I've got some black locust. It's probably pretty good for a hatchet. I've got some. That's probably the best functionally. Just buy a handle and unbox it. See, this is so stupid because that would get me more views. Unboxing the new Mastercraft hatchet handle and installing it would probably get more views than like refurbing or rehabbing an old dead hatchet and making it usable again. But I think it'll be more fun because I don't think that pitting, like that rusting, is all that deep. I think it's mostly surface. I think I can get rid of it with an angle grinder and a flap disc, and I get it all shinied up. Hatchets don't need to be sharp. You're splitting wood. You're not carving with it. And then a new handle out of walnut. No, I'm gonna do it out of walnut to piss off the internet. And then I'm going to break it on video because I made the handle out of walnut so that people can say, I told you. Beer. Not a flap disc will tear into it. A brass brush wheel from Crappy Tire, like up on the lathe or on the grinder or something, maybe. I could probably just do it with the sander. Could probably just get it done with like an 80 grit sanding disc on the sander. Brass brush wheel from Canadian Tire on the angle grinder. Yeah, I'm sure you'll send me a link. Just wear gloves because the first time you chop with it, it's liable to splinter in your hands. You think there's that much force going into a hatchet head when I'm like chopping out dowel stock out of a scrap piece of wood in my shop on my workbench? Because I don't. I mean, I'm not a physics professor, but I can't picture a piece of walnut not being able to hold up to this. Like that, and then a hammer on the back of it to like split and rive off a piece of scrap wood to make a dowel out of. For a shop, this is going to become a shop hatchet. Like, it's not going to be for the backyard fire pit. Broke a hickory handle trying to chop down an Osage orange tree. But that's not what this is going to be. I could probably do what I want to do by just duct taping this thing back together. And it is not in good condition. So I don't picture making a walnut handle for it having that big a problem. I could entirely be wrong. I've been wrong at least twice before. Probably will be wrong at least twice more times. Twice more times. I just think it'd be fun to just piss people off and say I'm like making a. If you're barely using the balsa wood, I just think it'd be fun to make it out of walnut, just to be like, yep, walnut, like, and then the thumbnail will be like this thing on half of it, and then the other half of the thumbnail will be like the shiny walnut one that I buffed to like a high gloss with custom grit, and it's all shiny headed and stuff. And it's just to piss people off about the hatchet. I think it'd be funny. Refurbing an old dead hatchet from my backyard out of walnut would, I don't know, me and Pinnell workshop the title. You'll never believe what happened. Watch till the end. Minecraft edition. Get those weak arms, he'll be fine. Oh, old timey fight. Here we go. Put them dukes up. Refurbing a murder weapon. I found a murder weapon in my backyard, so I remade it out of walnut. Has to have walnut. It has to have the word walnut in it somewhere. Just because people will get so upset. And I wouldn't use like a fancy piece of walnut, like with like crotch figure or like any kind of knot figuring or anything in it, because that will break. But like a straight grain piece of scrap walnut that I've got laying around, I think it'll be fine. Make a walnut hatchet head and a pipe handle. That's an idea. Peruvian walnut. Hey, look at Stanford. Okay, let's not. Oh, hey, I also have this. I've got. Yes, I still have this piece. It's much more than would be necessary for a hatchet handle of Peruvian walnut. I also have, interestingly enough, I don't know, it's heavy ass. Gets this piece of ipe. Never done anything with ipe. Don't really know anything about it except that it's heavy and hard. Maybe ipe? That's a book match guitar body. Well, it wouldn't be a book match guitar body because it's only 1 3/4 inches thick. Could be a slip match guitar body, maybe, if it's long enough. I don't think it is. Yeah, no, it's only 31 inches long. But book match guitar top. Anybody work with ipe much? My buddy Brad just was like, here, do you want to try something with ipe? I'm like, okay. It's another one of those rich people decking boards. And all I know is it's hard and heavy. and relatively water resistant. Maybe it'd be a good hatchet handle. No, it's walnut. Are you saying Ipe? IPE is how you spell it. Ipe. It's like an exterior decking board for rich people. You use lignum vitae. There is a piece of lignum vitae down at Windsor Plywood downtown. It is, I think, $48 a board foot. And it's probably about this size. Eight best axe handle woods: hickory, white oak, ash, birch, sugar maple, cherry, mahogany. Well, if cherry is the 7th best axe handle wood, maybe I'll just do that. I mean, but can you trust Google? Like, is that a BuzzFeed article? Can afford it with all that YouTube money. All that YouTube money buying me lignum vitae. Good call. Thanks to Brick House for the 99 cents. Now I can go down to... Now I can go buy that piece of lignum vitae. Just kidding, Seth. Thanks, my friend. It was a joke. I do appreciate it. Are you going to leather wrap whatever wood you use? I don't know. I'd never know going into things what I'm going to end up doing with it. Maybe I'll do some fancy pyrography on it. I'll go after some of Jax's demographic. He's been doing all kinds of cool pyrography stuff on his recent projects. And wood burning seems fun, and I have access to the equipment to do it. Maybe I would burn some designs into the side of it. I don't know. Maybe some leather, like sort of throng. Is that what it's called? Leather wrap. Although cherry is a softwood, no, it is not. It is not at all. It's fairly strong and much suitable for light wood cutting tasks. Cherry has a low MPa rating at 10,300. It doesn't perform well under high pressure. It's a little brittle and less durable than hardwoods. Cherry is not a softwood. But based on the definition of softwood, cherry does not fall under that. It is a softer hardwood. Like, it's, of all the hardwoods, it's on the soft-ish side. But it's in no way could you call cherry a softwood. That should tell you the quality of the article. Yeah, okay, fair enough. So that's what you were getting at, is that that's a line from the article? Don't listen to those people. Because, like, don't come here to learn, but absolutely don't come there to learn. Because those guys don't even know the difference between deciduous and coniferous trees. Jose, I'm guessing. Calejas? Maybe? Love your channel. Hello from California. Hello. Welcome to the show. Let me know if I just completely butchered your name, because I don't like doing that, and I will try to remedy how I pronounce people's names if they are completely incorrect. Like, I think for a long time I was calling Beckham Bekim. I don't know why. Just when I first raised it, his name is Beckham Krasniki. And I initially, Bekim, I just read it as Bekim. So I called him Bekim for like a couple of months until he corrected me. I was like, dude, you should have done that 2 months ago. I could have been calling you Beckham the whole time. I know you didn't actually. It was great. All right, Jose Calejas. Beautiful. Welcome to the show. I just said I wrongly assume that California, like the southern U.S., Jays get softened a lot of the time because of cultural influences and Jose, right? I would never read that as Josie because I know that Jose is a name and that's how it's spelled. So the last name was the actual problem there. Callejas could be Callejas, but with a first name like Jose, probably not. In any case, let's not dwell on Jose's name. Let's talk about hatchet handles some more. Oh, let's talk Eric. Eric, my friend in Ohio, the Browns fan. Let's just have a little sit down and chat, shall we? About Sunday. I was in an all day long meeting on Sunday with a Browns fan who actually had a ticker going on his phone with the score, and at one point it was like 3 minutes left, and he was basically like, "All right, sweet, we're all set." And I said to him, I was like, "Yeah, but it's the Jets, dude. Like, you should have looked at the beginning of the season and just checked that box because it's the Jets." Like, and he's like, "No, dude. When you are a Browns fan, nothing is just an automatic check mark." It's like, okay, well, it's the Jets, but at least up 20 or whatever with 3 minutes left in a football game. It's like against the Jets. Should be probably pretty good, right? And my Cardinals did the opposite of that to the Raiders. Like almost exactly. We were down 20 at the half. And down 16 going into the fourth quarter. It wasn't quite the collapse. The Raiders didn't have quite the collapse that I mean Kyler Murray basically saved the day for the Cardinals. But I was blown away. I was why how did that even happen? And then the Baltimore Ravens were like, "Here, hold my beer." Like, you want to see a team fall apart at the end of the game and lose a lead? We got you. Crazy weekend of football. Yeah, 2 touchdowns in the last, and with no timeouts. No timeouts left, and they still managed to get like 2 touchdowns in the last like minute 40 with no timeouts. Gators had their second crazy end of game win on Saturday. That's why I have a love-hate relationship with Kyler Murray, because when he does shit like that, I'm like, God, that's you can't teach that. That's just he ran like 98 yards on a scramble from the 7-yard line. Just like getting out of tackles and then like loping his way into the end zone. It's crazy. Like he's really good when he's good. But then there's times where it's just like, come on, yo. Doesn't matter. Now we're talking about football. Went from axe handles and wood selection to football. It was a crazy week in football. Let's just leave it there. Maybe we'll get close to wrapping this up. And I can I'm only up to 80 grit on this guy so far. I literally just flushed it up with 80 grit. Maybe we'll go up to 150 on the whole handle and see how it looks. I got some pretty bad swirlies You guys aren't going to see them in the resin. But it's an art piece. It's an art piece installed on someone else's ceremonial paddle. It's not for me to I'm gonna have a hard time not finishing this. I want to finish the whole thing. Is that a boat oar? Kapla, show up on time, and then we don't have to explain things again. This is a traditional Western Red Cedar First Nations canoe paddle that has a special significance to our community and the nearby First Nation. It goes back and forth across the strait, being exchanged and having art added to it all the time. And I was requested to be the 2020 artist from the Campbell Riverside to put a piece of art on it. And it took 2 years because the transition, the event got canceled, obviously. So this is my art that I have placed on this ceremonial First Nations coastal symbolic, I guess, representation of the coming together of communities and cultures. Councilman Davies, restoring Indigenous relations by returning their paddle he's kept for 2 years. Damn media. Sounds like something the media would write. Skewing the story. I'm not going to get it. No, shouldn't go there. I don't want to start that. Let's wrap this one up, I guess. I don't know. Should we have another beer? I'm not getting into media relations and things. Put that over there. I kind of want another sip of the Caribbean Reserve, but it's got wrapping paper. I cannot help you. I do not have any wrapping paper in Florida that I can help you. Man running for city council finally gives back First Nations ceremonial paddle after 2 years of hostage taking or something. And he put it over his table saw 30 times before he gave it back. They've been stuck over there since 2020. Just like, yeah, one of these days they'll show up with the paddle so we can get off this island. It's funny. No, it is it's like, in all honesty, I'm very honored to have been asked to do a piece of art on this piece of art. But I think this particular piece of art is a great example of what can happen when people stop us versus theming and just work together and become better friends and collaborators. And it's just like, let's stop fighting each other. Just be better at being people, Stop the us versus them and start more of the we. Let's have one more beer and then we'll shut her down. Like all of us on this channel. Yeah. Yeah, except for Stanifer. It's us versus Stanifer. No, it isn't at all. It's us versus Jax. That guy's the worst. Yeah, Jax? Yeah. That was my high horse for tonight, I think. Somebody give me a random hypothetical or something. I missed the Lily hypothetical question. It's been a long time. I should send her a message and see if we're fighting. Maybe she just can't do Mondays. Because I don't think I've seen her since the change from Saturday. Maybe I have, but not very much. Get out of here, you. Sorry, guys. That was probably loud. I was flicking at a bug. Anybody got a random hypothetical? Lily! We're at an hour and a half, though. We can wrap up anytime. Being Monday is why I was late. I was late, too. And I was here the whole time. Had a premiere before this. And I was still late. Hypothetical, if you had a podcast and hypothetical question, Pinnell says. If you had a podcast and stopped recording episode, would you ever start recording them again? In a completely hypothetical situation, it would be based on public outcry. If people wanted me to start recording them again, I would maybe start recording them again. But if I had, in this hypothetical situation, if I had a podcast, the only reason I would stop recording episodes would have been because it didn't feel like people gave a shit that I was recording episodes of a podcast. So hard to say what it would take to get me to restart a podcast that I had stopped in this completely hypothetical situation. Maybe a sponsor? Like, I don't know. It's hard. It would, in this completely hypothetical situation, it would be hard to justify the time investment in a podcast that it didn't seem like anybody gave a shit about. So it would be hard to talk myself into starting up again. If a beer pops open in the woods and no one's around, does it still make a fizzing noise? If a beer popped open in the woods but nobody was around, I would imagine that it was probably from heat and expansion. Like someone had left it in the woods and it got too hot and expanded. So I don't think it would make a fizzing noise. I think it would probably be more of a sort of a poppy, explosion-y type noise. So it wouldn't be a no. Unless it was a raccoon. I mean, if a raccoon came upon the beer and went, then yes. But if it just opened on its own in the woods, I don't think so. I think it would be more of an explosive kind of a sound. More than 70% of the Earth's surface is made of non-carbonated water. Does that make the Earth flat? I appreciate that joke. I appreciate that joke more than most people. Because it took me about a third of a second to realize that it was a joke, which is a sign of a good joke. Like if it doesn't clue in right away, but you clue in quickly. That's well done. That's well done. That's like my harboring a criminal joke. No, you're just slow. Oh, Beckham's here just in time for us to be shutting her down there, my friend. Feeling a little under the weather. Better now? All right. If I could have picked who would have succeeded Elizabeth II, who would I have chosen? Well, that question has layers because you don't get to pick. Like that's part of. I don't want to get into my feelings about the monarchy. Part of the problem with the monarchy is that it's a descendant-based system. So that's, I mean, you don't get to pick who the next one is. But if in an alternate universe where you got to pick the next person in line to the throne, I don't know that it matters. Because, like, does the actual head of the monarchy make any decisions anymore? Like, in Canada, we have the Governor General, who is the Queen's representative, who has to sign off on the decisions made by Parliament and the Senate, and et cetera, et cetera. So, like, does the Queen actually get to make any decisions anymore? So, like, does it matter who that person is in terms of their decision-making prowess? Or is it just like, I want the head of the monarchy to be Mr. Bean or Ian McKellen or something? Like, you know, I don't know. Rowan Atkinson. Why is the correct answer Rowan Atkinson? See, yeah, like maybe it is. Maybe that is the right answer. Patrick Stewart seems like a pretty good dude. John Cleese. I'll take John Cleese. I mean, I'm assuming, I don't know why I'm assuming, because this is a completely hypothetical question. I don't know why I'm assuming this person has to be British or. But let's play that game. Let's say that the person that you pick to replace the Queen has to be at least from a Commonwealth country. Now, can we say no? Let's just say that they have to be from the UK. I did. Patrick Stewart sounds pretty good. Ian McKellen sounds pretty good. These are intelligent, thoughtful individuals with leadership capabilities. I'll take either one of those. I'll take Patrick Stewart or Ian McKellen. Or John Cleese. I'm happy with any of those three. It actually turned into a pretty good question, Chris. I was a little worried at the start, but it turned into a pretty good question. Crocodile Dundee. Well, I mean, yeah, if we're just going to run with the Commonwealth, there's a lot more options if you open it up to Commonwealth countries. Cool. let's get this one wrapped up. We're at an hour 40. That's probably good for tonight. Didn't do anything. Talked about lots of stuff, though. New block plane. New project. Upcoming project. What else? Pinnell, have you decided the small or the large and your color scheme? Because if you haven't, we are supposed to decide for you at the end of the show. He has? Eric says he has. What did he go with? Tell us. Tell us what he went with. I want to know. I feel like he went with the small one after his like recent comment about like maybe this should be my like live show cup. I feel like he might have gone with the little guy. He went with the small one. What did he pick for colors? And is he going with like Stanifer's the worst on the back, or stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe? What is he doing? Details, Eric, come on. I guess it's not really your place to disclose the whatever. Somebody has to tell me, basically, is what I'm saying. Chris will probably send me a picture when he gets it, but just blue? That's it? Blue? Stanifer's the worst on the back? Loud noises or something? Oh, look at you guys coordinating the end of the show here. Kapla says stay happy, Stanifer says stay healthy, and Pinnell says stay safe. Well done, friends. You guys talk that out in a private chat room or something? I have a lot of blues. All right. So we'll get various blues on the outside of a small. Send me a pic when you get it, Chris. I'd like to see that. Bye for now, everybody. Thanks for coming. If you weren't here for the premiere before the live show, go watch the new video that just got released today about the giant Wolverine salad tongue, claw, tongue, scooper servers. What did I even call that video? Like bear claw salad scooper tongs, like scooper tongue dealies or something. I don't remember. Bye for now. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week. Try to make something next week. I don't know. It's hard for me to like get geared up and actually make something on the show these days because I just like hanging out with you guys. It's your fault. It's your fault that I don't make stuff on the show. If I like hanging out with you guys less, and I wanted to ignore you, I would make more things. Bye for now. So there.